Today we're diving into chapter 144 of our 1189 Bible Wisdom series, which brings us to Numbers 27. Now this is going to set the stage for a truly powerful story. We're talking about how totally ordinary people, folks without traditional power or influence, can literally change the course of history. We're going to break this single chapter down through our 5 distinct lenses to uncover one timeless piece of wisdom. Let's get right into it.
So here's a question I want you to just kind of hold in the back of your mind as we go through this. Will you stand up for what is right, even when your voice seems incredibly small? You know, every single one of us faces those moments where fear, or maybe ambition, or just plain uncertainty forces a choice. We constantly have to decide between staying comfortable and acting on our convictions.
And we really see this profound tension all the time, right? On the one hand, you've got our natural human instinct, which is just staying silent. Most people keep quiet when the odds are stacked against them. They just figure, well, nothing's going to change anyway, so they just accept the status quo. But on the flip side, we have the alternative, challenging that status quo. When you look back, history is almost always shaped by ordinary people who had the sheer courage to respectfully step out of that silence.
All right, let's peel back the first of our 5 lenses, the literal layer, the story of courage.
Okay, so here is the incredible sequence of events exactly as they play out in Numbers 27. Step 1, 5 sisters respectfully ask for their family's inheritance. Step 2, Moses doesn't just brush them off. He actually takes this completely unprecedented case straight to God. Step 3, and honestly this is the mind-blowing part, God grants them justice and literally changes the law of the land. Then, for step 4, the narrative shifts. God tells Moses his time on earth is coming to an end, and Moses immediately turns around and asks for a successor. Finally, step 5, Joshua is publicly commissioned. It's a hugely packed chapter, but the whole thing hinges entirely on these proactive moments of courage.
Let's zoom in on the real catalysts of this story for a second, the daughters of Zelophehad. Their names are Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Now their dad died in the wilderness, and they make a point to say he died for his own mistakes, not as part of some big rebellion. But because he didn't have any sons, under the cultural rules of the time, these women were facing a future with absolutely no inheritance in the Promised Land. Their family name was about to be completely erased. But rather than just taking it and staying silent, these 5 women stood right up before Moses, the priest, the chiefs, literally the entire assembly, and they respectfully but very firmly made their case.
And the really crucial point here is God's response. He tells Moses, the daughters of Zelophehad are right. He entirely agrees with them, showing this profound, literal commitment to justice. He grants them the inheritance and makes it a brand new law for all of Israel. And in that very same chapter, we see God's incredible care for faithful leadership as he seamlessly moves the baton from Moses to Joshua. So justice and leadership, God deeply, deeply values both.
Moving right along to lens 2, the allegorical layer. This is where we seek some deeper meaning.
This chapter brilliantly highlights 2 massive archetypes that we see repeating all throughout history. On one side, the 5 sisters perfectly represent courageous faith. They are the ultimate picture of the humble seeker of justice, the kind of people who take action even when they have no clue how it's going to turn out. And then we have Joshua. He represents the faithful next-generation leader. He perfectly embodies what it looks like to have massive responsibility passed down from one era to the next.
So the big takeaway for our allegorical lens is simple, but man is it profound. Lasting change begins when ordinary people step forward with courage. Think about it. These women were not military commanders. They weren't high priests. They were just grieving daughters. Yet their willingness to step up literally altered the legal framework of an entire nation. Massive historical shifts almost always start with just a few ordinary folks who refuse to stay quiet.
Next up, lens 3, the moral layer. Choosing wisdom over bitterness.
Numbers 27 is absolutely a masterclass in emotional intelligence and moral restraint. Look at the daughters. They advocate for themselves, sure, but they do it without a trace of bitterness. They aren't rioting or making wild demands. They respectfully and logically ask for what is right. And then look at Moses. God basically says, hey, you're going to die, and you're not getting into the Promised Land. Now, instead of throwing a massive pity party or bitterly clinging to his power, what does he do? His immediate response is to ask God for a new shepherd for his people. He actively prepares someone else to take his place.
And that right there perfectly defines great character. It's this incredibly rare combo of courage and humility. It's having the absolute boldness to speak up when things are wrong, matched right alongside the humility to serve others and let go of your own status when the time is right.
All right, let's zoom all the way out for lens 4, the anagogical layer, the eternal perspective.
So Moses literally asks God for a leader who will go out before the congregation and bring them in, so they won't be, and I quote, as sheep that have no shepherd. Joshua taking this mantle from Moses, that isn't just some ancient corporate succession plan to get the Israelites across a river. In the grand scope of the biblical narrative, Joshua, whose name literally translates to "the Lord saves," actually foreshadows a much grander, eternal design. He's pointing directly forward to Christ, the ultimate shepherd, who faithfully leads his people into God's eternal promises.
What this really proves is that even when great, seemingly irreplaceable leaders pass away, God's ultimate plan doesn't skip a single beat. It just seamlessly continues through new, faithful servants across every single generation. The mission is always, always bigger than the man.
Finally, we arrive at lens 5, the wisdom layer, timeless leadership wisdom. Let's unpack some of these wisdom treasures, because life is constantly throwing moments at us where we have to choose between comfort and conviction, right? Sometimes standing up feels super risky. Sometimes letting go of your responsibilities feels incredibly hard. But look at what this chapter teaches us. Courage often begins with just one respectful voice. Humility actually strengthens true leadership. It doesn't weaken it. Great leaders don't hoard their power, they actively prepare their successors. Your conviction should always be expressed with wisdom, not just noise. And honestly, maybe the most important one, leadership is stewardship, not ownership. You do not own the title. You're just holding on to it for a season to serve others.
If you take absolutely nothing else away from today, please remember this key lesson. Your true impact is defined entirely by the people you uplift and empower. Think about Moses. His greatest final act wasn't parting the Red Sea. It was laying his hands on Joshua and publicly commissioning him so the next generation could thrive.
So let's bring this right down to your own life for a second. Honestly ask yourself, where do you need the courage to speak up today? Where are you currently staying silent when you know deep down in your gut you should be speaking? Is it at the office? Is it within your own family? And secondly, are you leading in a way that actually prepares other people to succeed? Take a hard look at whether you're actively mentoring someone or if you're just gripping onto your own influence for dear life. Are you threatened when people younger or less experienced than you succeed, or are you the one pulling them up?
Ultimately, what kind of leadership legacy are you leaving behind? When your specific season of influence wraps up, what's going to be left? Is it just going to be a huge vacuum, or will there be a fully prepared generation standing ready to take the baton?
To answer our opening question, yes, you absolutely must stand up for what is right, even when your voice feels incredibly small. Numbers 27 is this beautiful reminder that history changes simply because ordinary people refuse to stay silent. The courage of 5 daughters changed the law. The humility of Moses changed the future, and Joshua's faithfulness embraced the massive responsibility ahead. Never forget that your voice, your character, and your sheer willingness to act might shape someone else's future way more than you could ever realize.
We're going to leave you with this final thought, our one wisdom statement for chapter 144 to carry with you. True leadership is not about holding on to influence, it's about using it to create a better future for others. So if your season of influence ended today, who is standing ready to take your place? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer of Numbers 27, 1 chapter, 5 lenses, 1 wisdom. We will see you in the next one.